And what I will stand by until the fucking day that I die is that the only reason why people push for certain things isn't because they have some principled obligation of what they think the government should look like. It's because it helps their side more. You want some real ass fucking shit? And I'll say this 1,000,000 times over. And I know it's true, and I can never prove it to you, but I know 1,000,000,000,000% it is absolutely true. If the majority of the people immigrating to this country from the South were white neo-Nazi slash conservatives, you better fucking believe that the Democratic Party, or progressives especially, would be hardcore anti-immigration. 1,000,000,000,000%. Guarantee it. You better believe that if they drew up some ultimately fair redistricting plan, if a computer, if an AI, if a benevolent God from above came down and showed us that if you redraw districts in the most fair way possible, it would actually favor conservative lawmakers across several states, you better believe that Democrats would be against it, that progressives would be against it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that these two things are the same. I think having a coup is a lot more fucked up and inarguably worse than trying to either get rid of the Senate or rebalance the Electoral College order. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, I think motherfuckers only push for what they think will give them more political power. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Okay?
110%. I absolutely agree with this view. And I've said this multiple times. The things that people get all outraged about online, I don't really think they care. The fake outrage you see coming from the left, is coming from the right. Folks on the left talk a lot about racism, but yet, with all the so-called cancel culture, ain't nobody trying to cancel the racist Al Sharpton, right? He's on one of the biggest liberal news networks, right? And no one seems to have a problem with that. If they were really bothered by racism, there'd be major backlash about people like him. But there's not, right? So ultimately, a lot of the folks on the left talking about racism, reactionaries, tribalists. That's all it is. Tribalism, right? My side is the anti-racism side, right? So I'm going to make a big stink about racism, not because it's something I am concerned about, but it's what my side does. So when I see racism that's inconvenient to the narrative of my side, I'm going to ignore it, right? So you see a lot of folks on the right talking about the invasion at the border. It supports the narrative. Mexicans coming into the country, right? They can easily push a narrative of we got to secure our borders and they're taking away our jobs and all that work. These people don't really care about what's happening at the border. This is the narrative being fed to them by their string pullers in right-wing media, who's pushing the same message given to them by the elites in the Republican Party. So basically right-wing media operating on their behalf. I honestly believe if we had a situation where, as described by Destiny, we had all these Europeans coming into the southern border, I think all of a sudden you would hear narratives coming from the right against the left, because the left is saying we got to secure our borders, we can't have all these people coming in and they're taking our jobs, or whatever, however they would choose to spin it, right? Listen to right-wing folks completely change their tune, talking about how this is America, right? We're the land of immigrants, right? Patriotism kicks in. This is what this country was built on. But the left, right, they want to talk about how they are accepting of others, and they talked about the gay, this and that, or whatever. Meanwhile, they want to block all of these immigrants from coming in the country, even though this country was built by immigrants. Look at the Statue of Liberty. Look at our history, but the left doesn't care about our history, right? They don't care about what this country was built upon. They hate America, and they hate what America stands for. And that's why they are so anti-immigration. They're also very, very closed-minded, and they if you don't agree with them, they want to cancel you, right? So they don't want these people coming in the country because they know that these people coming in the country don't believe in their Marxist narratives, right? That's why they have a problem with it. You think the left really cares about jobs and how these Europeans coming in taking the jobs? They don't care about that. And that is how the conversations would go down. That is how the conversations would go down if the people coming in this country were inconvenient to the narrative coming from the left. Can you imagine? Pro-immigration Republican Party. All it takes is a different demographic coming in. Imagine that. What are your thoughts? Do you think I'm right on this one? Or do you think I'm off my rails? off my rockers. This is the Debate Me channel. Debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.
The era of Bush and Obama and Clinton, I think people would view, roughly speaking, as conservatives as being generally the hawkish party. That conservatives are the ones that want to go to war. George Bush got us into Iraq. Obama said he'd get us out of Iraq and Afghanistan. He didn't. But generally speaking, that was a trend. But nowadays, well, with Trump, like Hillary Clinton, they were seen as more hawkish. And now Trump wanted to be like the isolationist guy. So what does it mean to be left or right when it comes to foreign policy? Because there are a lot of kind of like newer aged like conservative people, like the Charlie Kirk types and everything, that are like, we need to be hardcore isolationists. We need to do no foreign intervention whatsoever. That's all morally wrong. Hillary Clinton is the one that wants the no-fly zone over Syria. Hillary Clinton is the one that went into Libya and literally herself killed Gaddafi. Like, Hillary Clinton is evil. So like, it's hard to... that's why I'm saying it's hard to just say left versus right. Now, if we look at like establishment versus populists, populists are hardcore isolationists. The Bernie bros don't want us involved in any foreign affairs at all. The Trump fanatics don't want us involved in any foreign affairs at all. So it's hard to like, yeah, it's just hard to measure left versus right. It doesn't really make sense, you know?